Forever. Dog.
Well, people, it's happened to us. I'm in London. Really just me. I don't know. Dan's here, so I thought us. But it really just happened to me, Dan.
You look great.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, you already look very, Fab Avengers-y today, with the black, sweater. You look very chic.
Thank you, Dan. Well, let me explain what's going on. First of all, it's my first podcast taping inside of the London lockdown. It's also the first taping that we're doing since Biden got elected president. So, and I don't feel like I'm jinxing it by saying it, even though we're recording this on a Friday. I'm watching the results come in. But I'll be honest with you, I'm having technical problems today. And I know that it's not professional to bring it up. But I think it's important because I'm in an echoey Airbnb and I can't hear myself. And it's actually going to make me lose my mind. That's all I can say. I just don't feel like I'm really doing it. You know what I mean?
Well, stay tuned for the mind loss this episode.
No, do you know, it's like, I wish I could actually take the headphones out because then I can at least, parlay with you. But it sucks. Anyway. All right. Well, that's what happens in a Biden-led America, I guess.
I know. It's already falling apart.
Hi, everybody. It's Midnight Snack. I'm Michelle Collins. I'm here with an adorable, very suave-looking Dan Acton.
Thank you.
Dan, who has so many fans now. Something happened. I don't know. You've usurped me on the podcast. Now you have
Never. Never usurp the master. That's the first law of power.
That's my tramp stamp. And I had that put on in high school because my mom made me get it. Anyway, I barely slept. I barely slept and then I barely slapped makeup on my face for this. But let me add that I am in London. I came here for a number of reasons, not really interested in getting into them with you guys. Just know that I'm following the rules. I landed last Saturday and let's talk about the flight. First of all, Dan, how are you? How are you feeling? It's a day of celebration. It's so exciting.
I'm ready to celebrate, but I feel like I've been on Dayquil for 150 hours this week. I actually
am drinking my first rosé of the week.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it's evening here. It's 6 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, I can actually have a wine, whereas normally at noon, I don't like to drink when the sun is up. I'm like an alcoholic vampire. I need to be in the dark.
Well, I'm having my first iced coffee of the week, actually. So I'll get more hyper and scattered and you can get more chill.
Oh,
and it's going to be great.
And once again, you surfing the master. And we've talked about this. We talked about it minutes ago, not even. So
let me read that stamp again.
All right, let me pull it up for you. By the way, the lighting. So I'm in this beautiful apartment. I almost want to spin my laptop around, even though I sent you pictures already. But it's genuinely, dare I say, beyond my means where I am.
It's cute.
It's really nice, and it's 2 stories. But the lighting upstairs is too bright. It's a different lighting scheme than when I have in New York. And you know how when you go to a hotel and there's just new lighting, where you just discover things about yourself that you're like, fuck, what? That is on my body, because your own lighting. I do think that in my apartment or flat in New York, kill me, that I've set it up in a way that's very flattering to me, obviously. I love a restoration hardware, warm bulb.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I love a filtered moment. I love all of that. Upstairs here, they have those hi-hat lights, those halogen inset lights. Oh. And I have to do my hair up there. And I literally found stretch marks on parts of my body. I'm not joking you. I was why I'm saying it is I have lower back stretch marks. And I was not a ton, and they're white. You would only see them if you shined an inspector's flashlight on my ass crack, basically. But I was just what the fuck? Imagine having something on your body, probably for years and years, that I'm assuming some guys have noticed, depending on the night. I'm you didn't say anything to me? Oh my God.
What were you expecting? Just a tap on the shoulder?
Yeah. To be hey, I'm sorry. Well, it's funny because I don't want to name any names, but I had a friend whose sister had them. And the only reason why I remember that is because her husband used to call them her tiger stripes, which I always thought was horrible. I was look, tiger stripes. And that's what it looked like. I was oh, for those who are actually barfing, I get it. But they're just, what I swear, like I've looked at my back a million times. You would never notice it unless literally there is a neon light shining there, you know?
I've had things like that. I'm sure I have some kind of, I'm sure I got my tiger stripes somewhere, but like I also have like some back hair, but it's just like 5 long ones or something.
Oh,
like
not
that.
5 long
so it's
ones.
like
anything with that.
So yeah, in bad lighting, you're like, oh yeah, I should probably, I guess, do something about it or celebrate it.
Where we like, well, I'm like, all women have it. Meanwhile, all women listening are like, I don't have that.
We all have those 5 hairs.
No, not back hairs. Well, I've talked often about my friend Sarah Smellin, who I adore, has one long, very fine golden hair from her shoulder. I'm sure I've talked about this here before.
It's beautiful.
That she calls Fred, that grows really long. And I have it too. I have the same one. And so I think I talked about it at Sirius. And some women were like, I also have that long hair. I don't have any back hair, thank God for that. Some women do have that. And that's okay. But I do, every now and again, I'll notice like a neck hair or something. And it's like, fine. It's like from a newborn baby goose. Like it's so fine.
Right.
But it's
and it's hard to like get.
And you wouldn't even see it unless you were literally, I have in New York magnification mirrors. Here, I don't know. I have a feeling when I come back to New York, it's full Abe Lincoln. Like, I'm not going to be able to catch the strays, you know what I mean? Because I love to pluck. You know that. I'm a plucking fiend. I love doing it. Now, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about, but I like that we went there. I'll be honest with you. I was going to talk to you about traveling. So I came here. This was Saturday. I left Friday night from Newark, New Jersey, the airport.
Yep.
It was my first time flying. For those who are listening, and I can understand anyone's judgment for me coming here. I get it totally. I'm the most careful person there is. First of all, I got tested last week. I was negative. Then I wore my mask throughout the flight. I had it on. I did have like 2 bites of food on the plane because I was hungry, but like I was also, not to brag, I upgraded myself. So I was like, there was nobody around me. There were maybe 30 people on the flight total, like maybe. And as we were like boarding, and I was, boarded early, I hung that left turn to go to my big nice seat.
Podcasters may now board.
Yeah, they actually let us board with 4 veterans, which I didn't know that until I got there.
Makes sense.
Anyway, as we're sitting on a plane, and then I see kind of a commotion, not a major one, not like a guy threatening to like an anti-masker commotion, but I see some energy coming, and the pilot comes on and he goes, we have a medical emergency on board with one of our flight attendants, which is scary. Did I tell you what happened?
No.
Oh, he goes, we have a medical emergency. So I see first there's like Port Authority police on the plane, and I'm like, oh, I know how this goes. There's definitely an anti-masker. Like they're covering by saying medical emergency, but someone's like waving a knife, and I'm assuming economy where I wasn't sitting, just to bring it back to the day. There's animals back there. They love to sneak a weapon. P.S. I went through TSA with all of my equipment and a fucking can of mace that I forgot to take out of my bag, and they did not stop me. I had mace on the plane.
What?
I had amazing. To keep the mace on the plane. Yeah, I was pretty excited to have it with me in a random city, but turns out I see a flight attendant, and I go, "What happened?" She goes, "One of our flight attendants had a stroke."
Oh no.
Yeah, but they were like, and she was kind of like a little blasé about it. And I was like, I don't even know this one. Like, oh my God, a stroke. She goes, yeah, she's fine. She wants to go on. She wants to continue with the flight. But we're telling her she has to go to the hospital. It must have been like a mini blackout. And like, I'm sure she can't do or something. But it took her off the plane.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was scary. I hated it. And then all the flight attendants were like laughing with each other. And meanwhile, I'm like,
what?
Have some respect. Like this.
Yeah, really.
Didn't look great.
Well, I wonder if it happens all the time with her or something. Like that's recycled
air from the filters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Another thing, I've been here, and it's been lockdown happened like moments after I landed, which I kind of was expecting. It officially started yesterday, but I got to tell you, Dan, I was warned that people here didn't wear masks outside.
Oh,
I heard that.
Is that true? Yeah. Not
only is it true, the twist is they also don't wear masks inside. They just don't give a literal fuck here. It made me look at New York and say, like all those moments in the train where one person didn't have a mask and everyone felt weird. Like we actually are advanced civilization in New York City.
Yeah, what's going on? Why do you think that is? I just, there was just like a article, New York Times, that I started reading, and they're like, well, it's the lockdown, but you can't tell from the chocolate shops and the stationery shops. Like they were picking the cutest possible like locations to like go.
Yeah, you wouldn't know from the Kauai store on Beverly.
The reporter just didn't want to like change his plans. It was just like,
no, people here are just, I mean, the restaurants and pubs were packed inside. I hated it. I've been so good. I've like really been, even though I've not been as good as like, okay, locking myself inside for months and months. I've just been really good about following it. So I've been well, I've basically been in the apartment here the whole time, except to go food shopping and wine shopping, which is also in the supermarket. And I had to go to the drugstore, but it's been nice. You know what I mean? I'm excited.
Yeah.
So wait, how exciting is it that Biden won? It's genuinely like,
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Let me say this, that my energy levels for politics are, when you're driving and you get warned that your gas tank is empty, but you're like, I got to push it. It's just 50 miles. You're like, I'm going to get it to 40 miles. I'm literally at 2 miles left. Like I have this much left in my political gas tank before I break down. And so I needed this to happen for my own sanity because I was about to fucking lose
Same here.
Yeah.
Like today, like just this afternoon, like Biden said something, like Trump is saying he won't concede, maybe he won't leave, blah, blah, blah. And Biden said something like, the US government is perfectly capable of, getting trespassers off the property.
I saw that.
And nobody's talked to Trump that way from a position of power more power than Trump has it's been 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And it just felt so relaxing.
I was turned on. I was hard when I read it. Our guests today, by the way, are Ronnie and Ben from the Watchword Crappens podcast. And I'm excited.
That's fun.
Ben is one of my oldest friends. I'm excited to talk to them because I'm a little behind on Bravo. So I'm going to need them to like catch me up. Anyway, Dan Acton, I miss you so much. I can't believe we're so far from each other.
Yeah, I miss you. It's great to see you.
It's weird that we're closer to each other because you're in Brooklyn and I'm in London than when I lived in the Upper West Side. It's strange how the mileage works.
Right.
I love you so much. You really look cute. Have a fab weekend.
Thank you. Love you. You look great.
I really are even saying it.
No, you do. You look great. You look young.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel cute. I miss and love you. We have to go because we have Ronnie Karam and Ben Mandelker from Watchword Crappens. I love you. Follow Dan at Dan_Acton. And now to our guest.
Hey, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're from Teen Creeps.
And I'm Alaska.
I'm Willem, and we from Race Chaser.
And we're here for some real talk, okay? Well, we want to sit down and have some real talk. So
sit down.
We want to talk to you about wireless plans.
I hope your seat is comfortable for your little tush because breaking up with your old wireless provider just got a whole lot easier thanks to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is introducing their unlimited data plan for just $30 a month. Let that sink in. An unlimited plan for $30. How much is your soon-to-be ex-wireless provider charging you?
For people that hate their phone bill and are ready to cut ties with big wireless, Mint Mobile offers their premium unlimited plan for just $30 a month.
By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you.
So what does that mean for you? We'll tell you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts.
And if you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee.
Break up with big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile's premium unlimited data plan for $30 a month.
To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $30 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Michelle.
That's mintmobile.com/Michelle.
Oh my God. This is genuinely, like, I hate to use this term because it's so trite. Today sparks joy for me because really I'm combining two things in one. One is catching up with my two dearest friends, but also for all of you to listen to. That's what today is about. I'm here with genuine podcast legends. Like, it's actually wild. I'm so excited to talk to you. Don't wave your hand at me via Zoom. You are. You really are. They're the hosts.
I love you. Could you follow me around in real life, please? I need this.
I actually will literally when brides are going down and like the maid of honor has to fluff out the train, I'll fluff your train forever. You just ask.
That is so sweet of you to think that I would ever have a train behind me in this life.
And I'll keep going, choo, choo. It's so stupid. Let me introduce them like a lady. They have a podcast that you probably already listened to. It's called Watch What Crappens. You can follow them on Instagram at Watch What Crappens or on Twitter at Watch Crappens. Love a shortening. And you can also follow them at Ben Mandelker. He changed it. We're going to talk about that. And Ronnie Karam. Ben and Ronnie. Oh my God. Let's celebrate together. Cheers.
Hi.
I have a wine with me.
I have an arrowhead. I'm very boring.
Cheers
boring
to the next
morning.
3 months of watching a lot of crying on television.
Oh, I can't wait.
Court TV, darling.
Do you remember when Cartman licked the tears of Scott Tenorman? That's how I feel with all Republicans today. I'm like, I'm going to taste your fucking salty motherfucking tears. I want him in my throat and like in my stomach. I need it. I know that I got really intense, but I felt that.
I've been on Twitter a lot today reading, Don Jr.,
what is he saying?
Any Republican that crying, like pure crying, we were robbed, we were going to get it, and everybody's saying that it's rigged and all these, they really think that there's these watermarks that have been put on the ballots, that it's all been a big trick. And then Trump's going to come out and say, we watermarked them. And now we've caught, they're coming up with all of this stuff. And it's the best show on Twitter, TV, live.
It's the best show on TW, Twitter. Ben, are you feeling, how's your elation level today?
I'm really excited. Well, so I stayed up last night. I was like, I'm not going to stay up until Georgia flips blue. And then it finally flipped blue. And then I stayed up another hour anyway. And, it's like torturous almost because I've been watching CNN. That's been my
Me too.
That's been like my slow water torture of choice.
We're the only two people in America, and I'm in England. That's why I'm not. You know what's the truth? I never watch MSNBC. I gotta actually fess up. I always watch CNN. Why are we old? But we're like elderly.
I agree. You know why? Because I did switch over to CNN at one point. I'm sorry, to MSNBC at one point. But they took like 1 million commercial breaks. And I was like, I'm not down for this. So I went back to CNN and just watched, Chris Cuomo have that weird energy with that one analyst.
Who?
You know that guy? I don't know. He seems like a Mad Men character. He only comes on late at night during these.
You're saying like you're literally describing like a porn fantasy for me, like Chris Cuomo with a Mad Men character who only comes on late at night. This is like some weirdo clue. Who is it? I watched it because I'm like I'm actually I think 8 hours ahead of you, 5 hours ahead of Eastern time.
Yeah.
So it's weird because like right now I'm watching Jake Tapper, but it's on, by the way. I have CNN on because I'm going to announce some shit if it happens while we're doing this, but. I don't know. Chris Cuomo got a shitty time slot, I feel. He was on really late. And he's like the star of CNN. I hate to break it to the masses, but...
I know. In fact, I was thinking about you a lot of the time because...
Go on.
Every time that Chris Cuomo would sometimes do something and I'd be like, Chris Cuomo. And then I'd think, but I know what? I bet Michelle loved that. Whatever it was that he would do. Every now and then he just does things... And then I'm like, Michelle loved that.
Am I allowed to say something? Am I allowed to say something? But I don't want to like, okay, first of all, it's my dream to have him or his brother, obviously, on the podcast. Like, it's
Why
really.
Why they come on?
Well,
it's ridiculous.
You know what's funny? I haven't talked about this in so long, but now I feel like enough time has passed where I can like say it. Look at my lips.
Say it.
My lips are Joker curling at the edges. Like I'm.
Do it.
So when I wrote the Andrew Cuomo obsession piece, which not naming names, I had someone reach out to me actually today asking me to do the same for Steve Kornacki. And I was like, I didn't actually, I have to write back to that email, but my gut instinct is like, look, I speak from the heart. I'm not like some thirst post machine. Yeah. You get that.
Yeah.
Not only do
no
I
one's
get
ever
that.
asked me, but I mean, I'm flattered that you were asked, but still, I
You
dream
can
of
write
the day
it.
that I can be like, I'm not some whore. sir.
You know, that's actually why I went to MSNBC, because so many people were talking about Steve Kornacki that I
Yeah.
was like, I want to know what the Steve Kornacki buzz is all about.
I'm looking him up right now.
He's very cute. He's also a homosexual. And the only reason why I say it is because I didn't know that. And then on Sirius this morning, my joke was that I was going to write this thirst trap article and end it really jerk off throughout it. And then the last three words would say, wait, he's gay? And then it just ends. That really made me laugh. But,
I'm looking him up, and he
he's cute.
looks a little like he's trying to sell me insurance, and his sleeves are always rolled. He's very sleeves rolled up, like, here, we're gonna get to it, guys.
Yeah.
And I don't
like
know.
on The Simpsons, can't lose another sale, Gil. Gil, gotta get this sale, Gil.
Yeah.
I found myself getting actually very annoyed with CNN because I felt like they were trying to sell democracy to me, and I was like, you don't need to sell democracy
Like we bought
to me.
it. You know?
Yeah, they kept on saying, no, this is good. I mean, this is fun. This is democracy. This is democracy happening. You know, this is what makes it so fun. I'm like, stop telling me it's fun. Just count the votes, please.
Well, listen, they've been handed an impossible task, which is to make no news. Like literally, they've literally been handed the task to make counting slow reveal counting interesting and good TV. And so they're doing that much like when Celine Dion brings out the Stevie Wonder hologram at her Vegas show. They're using all kinds of tricks and techniques to fool us into thinking this is interesting. It's actually boring. And that's the problem, is that thank God their anchors are hot, because frankly, if they weren't, I'd be like, what the fuck am I watching this for? You know?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there's a reason ugly people don't do the news, for sure.
Well, and non-national news, look at even MSNBC has all very hot anchors, you know?
Yeah,
there's nobody.
it's true.
There's one I'm thinking of on CNN. I will not say his name. I can't stomach him. I will not say his name. We can move along.
Okay.
You will know who it is. He's the only ugly one I'm seeing. He's not nice either. So I feel very okay saying this. He's not a nice person. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say, I just don't understand how John King is. I have to say he deserves an award because he has been standing up there between two identical screens, trying to act like they're the same screen, and just zooming into counties and zooming out. And he knows every piece of information about every single county in the entire United States.
P.S. If I never see another fucking county again in my life, you will not hear me crying. I don't want to look at counties anymore. I'm done.
Never.
I don't want to look at numbers, actually. Ronnie, talk to me. This is me being professional. I've had another wine is hitting. Wait, Ronnie, did you vote in California or did you vote in another state?
I voted here in Texas. Oh, yeah.
Are you in Texas right now?
I'm in Texas. Yeah,
Oh,
I bought
I
a
didn't
house
know.
in Texas. I've been here since the corona happened. I've been over here in Texas, and I ended up on the most liberal street ever. There's a lesbian artist down the street. I live next to San Francisco gays, where every nightmare that Texans have, don't move here from California and change everything. And then, that's exactly what we're doing.
I'm
And we put
picturing a lot
Biden
of
signs.
turquoise, there's just so much turquoise happening on your street. I don't know. I'm getting Nevada
there
vibes.
is a lot of pool game. People are compete with their pools. Look at how great I've got
hilarious.
hula huts by my pool. I'm building a new deck with LED lighting on my pool.
I didn't know about pool games. That shows you I've been living in a big city too long, because I'm like, oh my God, a fucking pool. I'd give anything for a pool. You don't even know.
Super suburban.
Are you living with your family or are you in an apartment?
No, I'm by myself.
Oh my
and Bueller,
God.
who's behind me there sleeping.
I see that little baby. How cute. I love that. Is it hard for you guys? Because look, we'll talk about the podcast obviously at length, but has it changed at all doing the podcast, or it's pretty much the same because you're just Zooming anyway?
Same.
It's the same.
Yeah, we
Amazing.
we just talk like this every day anyway, so it's good. I think it's easier, that we were already prepared for this, because I mean, I live like a lot of people. I've always lived Corona's outside. I hate outside. I hate people.
What sign are you? What sign are you?
I'm a Virgo.
Interesting. Are you good at lists? Are you neat?
I'm good at lists. I'm not great at following those lists, but I make a list every day. And then I even I have every list software that you can get where, you can tap it with your finger and it's you did it,
Oh, I don't
get
like
a lot,
that.
I get a lot of fake cheering for my lists.
Ronnie is very on top of things. He is if there's something that needs to be done, he's usually he usually did it 5 hours ago. It's
See, but that's
because I like when
classic.
things are finished so I could sleep. You see?
Classic Virgo energy, though. See, I'm the opposite. I actually started making lists recently, but I don't like apps where you check a box. I just hate that. I like a notes app.
I have that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I actually went through many different list apps, and I found that they were very annoying because they were almost trying to automate too many things. It's like if I put down something that I have to do laundry, it was like it wanted to categorize it under like home tasks and under home tasks and like upstairs or something like that.
Outline your life.
I'm like, just give me a list.
Life.
And I finally found one where when you check something off, it makes a really lovely ring. And it vibrates in this way that's like really.
Ooh, what's
really
it called?
Ooh, what's that?
It's called Clear. And here, wait. Do you want me to clear something?
I don't
off
like that.
Really
it's
quickly?
very Scientology and that
Airport
where you have to pay to go through the airport.
Yeah, it feels very like TSA to me, but that's okay.
Look,
I'll listen to it. I can tell he's so excited. I can't say no.
You list things like this, and it has like a gradient.
Like, I'll be honest, I don't really care, but I can see it makes you happy, so I want to make you happy.
Yeah,
I could tell I've gone onto a classic thing where I got excited for something, and you just have to write it out. So here, I'm going to clear something off.
I'm not turned on by that noise.
It was a nice. Well, you're not also getting the feedback of the vibration. The vibration's very
my
lovely
feedback
too.
is that that didn't do much for me. My most annoying app.
Right.
No,
Fine.
but I love you. Nothing personal.
I know this is.
My most annoying app is called Flow, like the progressive lady, and it's a period tracking app. Which why it's annoying is that I guess when I downloaded it, it's actually great for. Why I like it is that it actually warns me. I only maybe started using it a year ago. And up until I guess I was 38 years old, I just winged it. It's just like, I think I'm getting my period today. Like I didn't keep a calendar. I'm sure you guys are like not going to eat the rest of the day, but I'll finish what I'm saying. So okay. I started with this app and it like now tells you like, oh, this is happening to you now. This is happening. But I must have signed up for some sort of hydration feature because every hour it's like get up and drink water every hour and I don't. I get it. I'll get one while we're doing it and I don't do it, but it's like I have not taken the 2 seconds to turn it off. And I wonder, what does that say about me? Am I a procrastinator? Which I am, obviously, but that's like mental illness to not.
It took me like a year to turn off the breathe function on the Apple Watch. I was like, F you. You don't need to tell me when to breathe. I'm a fucking human being. Also, can you have friends on your Flow app? Because I would love to get like a little ding that was like, Michelle's about to start. And I can be like, hang in there.
Can I say something to you? Look at my face right now. I'm like the Happy Gilmore clown mini golf face. I would love to be your friend on Flow. Like I have no friends on it. I'll share you my period playlists.
Oh my God. I love this world.
My current like app horror stories right now are coming because I got a Ring doorbell.
Oh, I have Ring cams. I have 3 Ring cams in my apartment. I love it.
Yes,
so
you're
now,
just like we're
I don't fuck around. Yeah.
Do you get alerts from your neighbors?
Absolutely not. I get alerts when I walk into the kitchen naked to get water or food. And also, and it's loud. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm in the kitchen. Like I forget to like turn it off, but go on.
Oh
I get nonstop. It's almost like Nextdoor, but it's with Ring. It's like nonstop updates from neighbors. And it's not like, people who are just like a few blocks away. It's like all of Los Angeles. It's like it goes all people down like by like Wilshire or by the 10. And it's like, it's Los Angeles, so these are like the worst updates. You'll just be sitting there, and then someone posts a video like, look at my downstairs neighbor. She just smeared feces on my door. And I'm like, why?
Oh, I get those. I get those for like package thieves. They'll be like, look at this guy. And then it's like grainy video. I'm like, it's a horrible ad for Ring because you can barely see the guy's face. Like, this shit don't work. But I will say, if there's one thing I don't miss in my life, if I had to make a Ronnie or Ben style list of things I don't miss, the first thing I would put on it are horrible sights in LA. Like horrible. I always say I've seen the worst things I've ever seen were all in Los Angeles.
It's very true. And right now it's probably
just like people
worse.
Screaming at the sky sort of level.
A guy fully nude on Hollywood Boulevard covered in blood. I'll never forget it. I was like working on Hollywood Boulevard, like covered in blood. And I was like, this is, we live in a, Ben is like dying laughing. I was like working at some TV show.
I know.
Why did that happen?
I used to have a guy on my
LA.
street.
Yeah.
I used to have a guy on my street that every time I would come out, like he hated me. I don't know why he hated me so much, you know? I'm not like mean, but I would come out and he would just look at me from across the street on the sidewalk and he poops. Like he pulls down his like anger poops at me. Like makes eye contact with, and I'm not going to break eye contact. I'm not rude. You know,
no, you're a gentleman.
So I like
of course.
Look like what's up and poops. So,
I saw a man
LA.
once. I'll one up you. Although I didn't know this man, I admit he was not a neighbor. But I was once walking. This is a horrible story. arguably my most decrepit story, and you got it out of me, Ronnie. That's your gift as a Virgo.
I'm like the Oprah of decrepit stories.
Yes. I was walking up the N train platform, and only fucked up shit happens on that N train platform. It's like awful.
Yeah.
And I saw a man he clearly didn't have a place to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just drop trow and just have absolute explosive situations come out of his ass. And I remember, this is what a New Yorker I am, that I remember peripherally seeing it. He wasn't close enough. I was on the other side of the platform, but I walked by it happening. And I remember I just looked ahead. Like, I didn't even stop. I didn't gasp. I didn't breathe. I just kept moving. It was like fight or flight. I was like, just keep fucking walking. And then I saw people walking down the steps. And I remember thinking, like, should I tell them that they're about to see like absolute diarrhea on the platform? Like, I remember thinking they're about to see part 2 of whatever I just saw. And I didn't say anything. Because how can you say it? What do you say?
That's the New York way. You can't.
Yeah, I saw that happen in Target.
Wait, talk to
You're
me.
gonna look like a total tourist if you say like, I just saw someone poop on the platform. You have to be like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
New York.
native.
Of course someone took a poop on the platform. Like, get over it.
That's hilarious.
I was in the Target in the West Hollywood Gateway Target.
Oh, where I
and
used to,
I was at
excuse me, next door to my old apartment? Yeah, I know
Yes,
it.
indeed.
Many a date,
And by the way, I
many a
have to
date
say,
there.
Crazy Rock and Sushi has gone really downhill.
Well, it was downhill
actually
before I
stopped.
moved, hun.
But now it's downhill where I feel like every time I eat from them, I'm like, it's a miracle I'm alive. the
Really?
next day.
That
and I've
bad?
actually stopped. It's fishy, and I stopped ordering from there. I had to stop.
This-
I've been an apologist for a very long time, and I finally had to stop ordering
This
from
place, I have seen Ben go full Nathan's hot dog contest at the sushi place. Like when I lived in
Yes.
LA, you and I would go there. You would deep throat Alaska rolls. And I was going, this is like literally SeaWorld shit. Like I didn't know what I was watching.
them. Because the Alaska roll, no matter what happened, that Alaska roll
Delicious.
was always delicious.
It was the
like
best thing on the
one
menu.
Beacon, and it's not anymore because the salmon. I don't know where they get the salmon. They get it from like Goodwill or something. It's just like it's like it's not right.
Wait, so West Hollywood Target, we're back. A fucked up Target. I used to live a block away. I mean, it was like my neighborhood.
Yeah, that's one of the most fucked up Targets in the country.
It's like, but also like the best Target to ever go to. It's
Yeah.
like you get so exciting going into that Target because you never know what you're going to encounter.
Well, they
It's
call
so
it-
bizarre.
coming outside that's really rough. And
That's right. By the Starbucks, by the, I think Daphne's, by the Baja Fish.
Yeah.
That area is
How is-
sketchy.
Yeah.
Baja Fresh.
Yeah, how is
Oh,
the
yeah.
Baja
Baja
Fresh
Fresh.
is gone.
Baja Fish.
Fresh is gone.
Baja
It's
Fresh
because
is
I
gone?
moved.
It's gone. Daphne's has
biggest
been around
supporter.
since that complex opened, and I don't know a single person who ever goes to Daphne's.
I literally never ate there, and I lived there for fucking 5 years. I never once went. But let me say one thing. They call it the celebrity Target. The only celebrity, and I won't repeat the story. Those who listen to Las Culturistas know my famous Leia Michelle story happened in the elevator as I was heading to that Target with the someone spilled sauce. But yes, so continue. It's a well-known Target
the
in my
celebrity-
oeuvre.
The celebrity I saw, I rode in an elevator with in that Target was Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
so how about that?
Softest
Yeah.
hands I've ever felt. When he came on The
And he-
View, his hands were, I always say tied with Larry David, the two softest pairs of hands. Butter, like my hands are filth 1929 Great Depression hands compared to Mark Wahlberg's hands, like delicious.
The softest celebrity hands I ever shook was I once shook Fat Joe's hands, and they were so
Of course.
soft.
Puffy.
Or
I
someone
actually-
named Fat
They-
Joe.
it
I don't
was
even
like-
know who that is. Like, what else would they be?
It was like the Casper mattress of hands. It was just like
I hate that. Ronnie's saying I don't even know who that is, but they would have to be. It's hilarious.
I mean, no one named Fat Joe has terrible, like, grumpy hands, you know?
they were just like
Yeah.
like my hand could just fall asleep in his hand. But yes.
Okay.
So, I was
Celebrity
in line-
Target. I want to hear this. Okay,
I'm
go on.
obsessed
Yes.
with my hands right now.
And Mark Wahlberg, by the way, was standing and blocking the elevator buttons. And so then when I had to be like, excuse me, to press it, because like
He
it's
got
one
mad.
of those things, the doors were open.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was like, I had to press it to say close. And he like gave me this look, and I really did not appreciate
Hmm.
that.
You should have reached over him and really rubbed it in.
I have a small power trip when I try to when I push the elevator. And I have
You
to push
do.
him out of the
Anything
way
that
to
you
be like,
push, you get
"Excuse
power
me."
trippy.
I do.
Buttons or your horn, your passive aggressive fucking horn when you drive. Meep, meep.
Do you do passive aggressive honking, Ben?
Yes.
No, mine's aggressive.
No.
Mine's full
I
aggressive.
agree. I'm
it's
that way.
aggressive, but it's not. It's like this. Meep. It's not
Well,
like
that's
Oh, the baby,
Super's
the baby
fault.
beep. No, you got to do the baby. It's like you hit it with the palm of your hand, where it's like if you're at a light and someone's on their phone, you got to do the baby beep to say, "Excuse me, move the
see,
fuck
Baby
on."
beep.
Yeah,
I
That's why
actually
you're
usually
best
do like
friends
a
right
tween
there.
beep. Mine's usually a little bit bigger
You
than a baby.
tween beep.
No. I'm from
Stupid.
Texas.
Tiger
I'm from
beep.
Texas.
I do tiger
honk
beep.
at somebody, you could be dead. Okay, I'm in a place with a lot of guns. I don't honk at anybody. I'm like, okay, sir. And plus, everyone's in these gigantic trucks that like tower over my car. So I'm like,
You know what's funny?
My Subaru horn sounds like a carnival ride. I'm like beep beep beep.
Wait, you know what's
So
funny
I have
about you
those.
saying that, Ronnie, is that if I'm on, like, I rented a car for the past like 4 months in New York, which is honestly so chic. Like it was a Chevy Equinox with, funny enough, Texas
that
license
is.
plates. And people hated me because they thought I was like Texas red. You know what I mean? But meanwhile, I was like, I like abortion. Like I kept screaming it. But anyway, so I don't know what that means. But
My car's from Austin.
what
I
is?
love abortion.
My car is from Austin.
Oh, that's fun. No, but wait.
No.
We were
Same
talking.
here.
Oh, my car. That's funny. Yeah, my car performed at South by Southwest, like screaming it. The
Back room, but
Equinoxes.
still, I was there.
But if I'm on the phone with my mom and I honk, because I drive, friends who have gotten in my car as I'm driving, like, I'm a very proud driver. Ben, you've driven with me in my Mercury.
Oh, many times.
Rest in
Yes.
peace.
You, I think
Milan.
you're
Ronnie.
I think that's a very good description. You're a proud driver.
Yeah, someone said
Actually.
that in New York, like, I don't fuck around. In the city when I drive, you would think that I'm like a 5-star, 10-year veteran Uber driver. Like, I cut a lane, I shove in, because I know no one wants to hit me. So, like, if you just have the faith that, like, no one will hit your car, you can literally always change lanes. It's a wonderful freedom of speech in a way. But if I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm like honking and mad, and this comes from a woman who, you know, she's from Israel, a fiery people, let's all agree. And she only curses in Arabic. My mother, when I was growing up, I mean, my mother is a psychopath. She would scream, "Kusachtak! Kusachtak," which means your mother's pussy. This is in Arabic. My mother would scream it. Actually, it's kusamak and kusachtak. One is sister and one is mother. Depending on the mood, which pussy she wanted to scream out, but
Which
she would yell it.
generation she wants to go for.
Generational pussy. And she would yell it. And so angry. And then when I like honk in the car, she always goes, "Michelle, you don't know who has a gun." She always yells. I'm like, "Mom, I'm a honking the horn." She goes, "You don't know who has a gun."
Yeah.
She's convinced I'm going to get shot in a road rage accident.
That's
and
what I'm
honestly,
saying.
she's
People
right.
Get shot.
It does
yeah,
happen.
they get
I
shot
know.
in those
Happen.
road rage incidents. My mom is always, she's the opposite. She's like, "Fuck you, of course, it's a fucking man."
Yeah.
You know, like,
I love
like
that.
flipping off these guys in huge trucks. And I'm like, who do you think that they're going to shoot? You? No, they're going to shoot me. Don't start fights like that. It stresses me out.
I think one of the best parts of this pandemic is that I just like haven't been driving anymore. I mean, I drove to Los Feliz yesterday. I mean, I just sit here. And so like yesterday I went to Los Feliz and I was like in like a little bit of traffic and I was like, what is this? This is so strange.
Oh,
It
I was
bizarre.
driving in New York. I mean, forget it. When I found out that Home Goods was open, I literally ran to the budget LaGuardia rent-a-car. I was like, I'm here. And I got a car. And then I was every day, like I'd finish my show because, you know, my series show's in the morning. So I'd finish it and then just beeline. I really wanted to, this is so boring. Who cares? Ben, and Ronnie, do you want to hear something really sad? Horribly
Yes.
sad?
Of course.
I love sad things.
I'm almost positive I've talked about it here before, but I'm speaking to two men who have been inside the famed Mercury Milan, the Milan, as we call it.
Oh my God. Dream car.
Wait, Ben and Ronnie, before I tell you the update, will you just, if you will, indulge me? Because really, I actually could cry right now because I'm in London lockdown and I'm alone. Will you please tell the listeners about my Milan? I talk about it all the time. When I see a Milan on the road, I always look at the driver. I always want to connect. You know what I mean? I just feel like there's a
But I see what I
connection.
did with you.
But didn't
Yeah.
that
Thank
car
you.
end up in like hell? Like, wasn't that a bad car story at the end? Like,
No,
didn't
no,
it, like,
not with me.
Fall apart.
That was the Nissan.
No, my Nissan Altima, I returned. Oh God, Ben, your memory.
And then
No,
you
my
got,
memory, I drove with you.
yeah.
I don't remember where that CarMax was. It was like at the ends of
In
the earth.
Carson, fucking California. That's where it was.
You guys,
I was
you guys
like-
are
I-
really
Carson
cut out to be best
Nissan.
friends. Because you did act like that Milan was like a limousine, okay? And then Ben took forever. I'm sorry, Ben, this is rude.
No, please.
Ben
please,
loves
this
his
is deserved.
Subaru and like took forever
Subaru
to
Legacy.
get the Subaru Legacy.
Yeah.
And both of those, I was like, okay. All right.
No,
You know,
okay,
you
you know
guys
what?
do your
All
thing,
right,
but
you're
then listening
triggering
to you
me.
talk to each other, you're like, my Milan.
Well, I was physically in love with my
I-
car. I was.
So this is what I've learned, and this is the best part about friendships is that you learn from your friends. And the way that Michelle was so discerning on her journey towards her Mercury Milan inspired me.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you
that.
can tell. I can tell.
Well,
you.
I had this.
So
I had
sweet.
this wonderful Toyota Camry for many
Oh,
years,
love
which
the
I
Camry.
loved.
Love the Camry.
But it was like it was getting to that point where it like it needed to be put out to pasture because if I didn't do it now, I would never get any money for it. Like it was just at that point where you could tell, like, oh, I've had to take it to one too many, things or
like repair shops. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah.
I'm like wine drunk too. And I'm going to cry. When I tell you about my Mercury, tears will flow. I'm listening. Continue.
So I was like, when I bought that Camry, I was like, I don't know what to get. I'm going to get a Toyota Camry because I needed a car and I just bought it. And so this time I was like, I'm going to take my time because I remember I was with Michelle we made a few drives down to that CarMax.
Carson
we
Nissan.
Drove things around. We went to the
CarMax.
Nissan.
My mother came with me to the CarMax in Duarte, California. Google that shit if you don't know where it is.
I've been there.
We've been there. We went to the CarMax and my mother tried to get me classic Judy Collins to buy an Infiniti, which in order to get it to move 5 miles an hour, I had to put about 80 pounds of pressure on the pedal. I was like, Ma, I can't drive this car. It's like too much. By the way, I was paying for it. It's not like my parents were treating me to a car. It's like $30,000. My mom goes, oh, it's stunning. I'm like, yeah, please butt out. And then we went to the old spaghetti factory afterwards. I did not buy the Milan there.
Of Duarte?
Yes.
When I went to Duarte
spaghetti factory. Oh my God.
I went to the Red Lobster near Duarte. So when it was time for me to get this car, I was like, this time I'm gonna be good. So I went to Glendale and there's this auto mile, and I had the Uber drop me off at the top of the auto mile, and I walked down that. I went to every single dealership on that auto mile, and I went and I tried all these different cars. And Subaru was honestly not on my radar. And then I tried the Subaru Legacy, and the interior, I love the interior.
Really? They should sponsor you, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. I've had other friends who is that the station wagony one or the SUV?
No, the Legacy is the sedan. It's actually like their least popular model. Like no one even knows about this. Like the Legacy. In fact, the outside is so generic. I was like, this is a joke. But inside, like
it's really
all the
nice.
Really?
Yeah, all the cup holders were exactly where I wanted them to be.
Oh,
like
wow.
the displays were amazing.
And your puddle light. Don't forget that.
Oh, I got my puddle light.
Oh, lighting is
my puddle light.
Lighting is essential. Need I remind you that in the Mercury, and Ronnie, you've been in it too, at nighttime, there was like prom limo lighting, the cup holders, and you could change the color pink, blue. Can I just say something? I actually literally am feeling emotional. I'm not because I'm going to tell you the update on the Mercury, and I also realized that Ben never told his Target shitting story, which we're going to get to. Like I'm actually that good at pulling it back, but let's finish the car talk for a minute. That I love that car genuinely so deeply because no one else had it. And it was so beautiful. I admit that it was a stunning looking car. In fact, when I see it on the highway, like in New Jersey or whatever, usually in a lower income neighborhood, and I'll see it on the roads, I look and I'm like, literally that could have come off a showroom floor today. Like it doesn't look 10 years old.
Yes.
They discontinued
I'm going to
them.
put one little button. This is why I feel like my Subaru Legacy is like a soulmate to your Mercury
I hear you.
Milan.
I'm listening. Go on.
Because I was originally gonna be like, nah. And then I saw it in black and it looked beautiful in black.
Yep.
And I said, I want it to be, I want to get this, but I want the interior to be like a light interior. And they only had one in like the state of California, and they had to track it down and bring it to Los Angeles.
Is it leather or fabric?
It was leather.
So it's a beige,
like not real leather, but
like a beige. Okay, go on. I like
a beige
that. Very
interior,
classy.
black on the outside, because most of them are black on the inside because people have kids that make them dirty.
I have an issue with beige on the inside. Hilarious sentence because that's Ronnie's autobiography. Beige on the inside. Never forget.
Because it gets dirty easily, right? Yeah.
If I wear like new jeans or something, because I had a rental like that, it would stain it blue in my jeans. And so actually,
I haven't had that issue.
Be careful with that. Yeah.
Okay. But the point is this. I felt like I was super, super thoughtful in my decision.
Yeah.
And I also I wasn't going to take no for an answer when they said there's only one of this type. And I said, well, you better find it for me. And I was like, this is what I've learned from the Milan.
Well, Ronnie and Ben, as you know from my Mercury Milan, for those new podcast listeners out there, I had bought one at CarMax in LA for like nothing. And then my joke was that it was built in a pet cemetery because everything in it rattled, like literally the mirror, the door. Like,
I've got a rattle too.
What? You do?
I have a rattle that I cannot get rid of.
No, that shit would drive me nuts. Honestly, the rattle was, and CarMax has a 5-day return policy. It's like a free CarMax ad. So I was like, called my parents and I was like, I have to return it. So I went back to the LAX CarMax and they go, no problem. And then this true car salesman talked me into getting a Ford Fusion, which is like the slightly lower version of the Mercury. May it rest in peace. Well, hold on. But it had a sunroof. Now, you know, I'm 6'1", so it was tickling my baby hairs on top. Like the sunroof was too low. I was too tall for the Fusion. And I said, because my dad had a Mercury, I said, this is it. I'm getting Mercury. Found one in Henderson, Nevada. Shout out to Blue State, Nevada, by the way. Big time shout out. Nothing but love for Nevada. Blue Milan, Blue State. That's exactly right. Drove Ronnie. I literally got in the car. I beelined to Nevada. You know the story. I got a room at the Palm for like $89 for the Palms, whatever.
I forgot about it.
I got to the Henderson. I called them. I go, you're going to die. I go, do you still have the blue Mercury Milan? And they were like, yeah, like nobody wanted it. They were like, yes, it's going to be here for a while. And I was like, do not sell it. I'll be there. Got on the highway on the 10, drove there, got there at like 8:30. They closed at 9. I said, let me take it. I literally took it for a spin around the parking lot. I said, I'll take it. Exchanged that car, got my Milan, slept at the Palms, drove back the next day. Best car I've ever owned. And by the way, I paid, I think, 17 grand for it. 4.5 years later, they gave me 9,000 for it.
Wow.
Talk to me, because I kept it beautiful.
You know, it was a beautiful car. I love being a passenger in it.
Thank you. Honestly, like that car. Well, you want to know the update, and then we'll talk about shitting a Target? The update is that I looked it up because I actually am mentally very sick. You both know this already because you've known me long enough. I found the VIN number from like a Jiffy Lube receipt in my email. It's true. I found the VIN number, and there's like, you know, you can look up Carfax or whatever. So I was like, what happened to my Mercury? Because I truly... it was like a family member. Like I missed it. And I took such good care of that car. Like it really looked like new when I returned it, except for the one accident I famously got in with that Saudi prince. It looked great. And so separate story, not in the mood. Anyway, so I looked it up. Someone had bought it. I don't even know what state. I'm going to, maybe this is the time. I actually was going to talk about this on stage, like at one of my live shows, but obviously that's not going to happen for probably a year. Whoever got it, when I tell you that it was obliterated, when I tell you that car was totaled, I actually am I'm also a little wine drunk. I'm really feeling emotional.
They were probably doing coke off the freaking dash of that car. That was like a party car.
It was a party car.
And it was like light up like it's Philip Hughes in there and shit.
You know? That's exactly what it looked like. It was, I actually genuinely am feeling emotional. This is like, wait, I need to like see a therapist. Like something's wrong. When I tell you that it wasn't like it just got in an accident. It looked like a giant had taken his shoe and stepped on it. The back, the front, this thin, like it just got crushed. And this was before it was like crushed for, you know, scrap metal or whatever. They had also pictures of the inside. I paid like $30 for the report so I could get the pictures. In the back, I was obsessed. In the back.
Can't go back. It can't go back home again.
Can't go back home. In the back was a single loose baby shoe. And yeah, paging Ernest Hemingway. I know. And I actually, I sent it to my friend Gabe Liedman, who's been a guest on the show. And he said, did someone drive it over a mountain? Like, did someone like literally drive it down a mountainside? Like it
Thelma and Louise.
I have never seen damage like what happened to my beautiful car that I took such beautiful care of. And it really got me. And I'm sorry to this day. Do not look your old cars up is my advice.
Did you save the screenshots?
Oh, I have it in my email. I'll pull it. I can send it to you.
Because now I'm like, I really need to see it.
Should I find it? I can find it.
That you weren't the owner anymore, and it just like had enough, and it just did itself in. You know, it was like, hey, I see an 18-wheeler turning over. I'm getting under that. You know,
Ronnie, like honestly, you have a beautiful heart to even think that it like did basically Madame Butterfly finale for me. Like
spooked itself.
Yes. Did you say Sudoku? I'm joking.
Probably did that too.
Wait, I looked up Mercury. Of course, all these like astrology things came up.
It is funny. Every time I see one, I do think of you. And I don't see them often. And again, I barely drive anymore, so I really don't see them often. But when I do see them, it's like, to me, it's synonymous with you.
Are you ready? I found it. This was back in February. This is pre-pandemic. I'm going to send it to both of you. We're going to have a live. Honestly, Can I just tell you though, I'm not joking you, like it really makes me really feel sad. I can't explain it. It just, I'm trying to be cool.
Does Mercury even make Milans? Does Mercury even exist anymore?
Mercury died in 2011. So you can't, I actually, as a joke, air quote, wanted to buy another Milan, like a 10-year-old Milan for a car. I just sent it to you guys. And you can't, like, you can get them, but they're still like $7 grand, which I'm like, they should be, I watched Judge Judy. That should be like $800. Like, why is it tens of thousands of dollars? I sent you the report. I'm going to open it. It's going to make me emotional.
I'm waiting. It hasn't. Oh, here it is. Just came through. I'm going to click on it.
Oh my God, you guys, this is so sad.
2010. Oh, I have to log in. So
do you? All right, I'll screen grab and send.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, by the way, I forgot how bad it was. I forgot how bad.
We're bringing it back. Bring back the trauma.
You're gonna literally have a conniption. I've never seen. It's actually like almost funny. Wait, I've turned a corner. It's actually funny. It's so fucked up that like your eyeballs are not going to understand what it's looking at. It's like a giant, put it in like a Listerine strip, chewed it and spit it out. Like there's no explanation. Let me text it to you guys. Hold on.
Someone put my number in some fake, like someone spoofed my number, and apparently there's robocalls going around like, your social security number has been hacked. It's one of those, but
all
it's
the
using
time.
my number. So I've got like 10 calls a day now from that area code of people telling me off. So I think it's time to.
That's hilarious. You got to change it.
Yeah, someone used my email to like, I don't know, something happened on the dark web, but now I get all these emails from a Polish bank. And it's like, it feels scary because I feel like when you deal with a bank, I'm like, that's money. And I don't like that my name is associated with it. But also like,
yeah,
I'm intrigued too.
I get one from like some Nigeria. Well, everyone, it's always Nigeria for some reason, but I get like Fidelity Life, some shit. And I'm like, whatever. I block it, but it still comes through.
Too,
I know.
I feel like I can't believe I haven't been fished because
I got one from Biddy Bank.
Things.
It's a little bank.
Biddy
it's like
Bank.
Citibank, Biddy Bank. It's so weird. I'm like, it's so believable. Biddy Bank.
Isn't there a J-Lo song called Biddy Bank?
Is there? What about all the rumors that she's horrible in person? I still want to be her best friend. Wait, Ben, while we wait for these photos, and then don't look at them until we get them, will you tell us the Target shitting story, please?
Yeah, I mean, the Target shitting story is pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, I was just standing there in line waiting to check out, and a lady just came walking up, and she just never quite made it to the bathroom.
No.
And I like look down. I'm like looking down at like my goods on the conveyor belt. And I look up, and there is just like a pile.
Are you kidding me?
Like a pile of like diarrhea.
Where did it come out from?
On the floor.
Like her skirt? Like was she not wearing pants?
You know what? I think it came out. I think it came out from her skirt. Luckily, I didn't actually see the act while it happened. I saw her come in.
Saw the pile.
I looked down and I looked up, and there was a
you just saw the pile. God bless.
Shit in there, and it was like right next to me. I was like, oh, there's some diarrhea right on the floor in the middle of Target. And then the next day I went to Target and I saw a little girl throw up in the aisle, which is less disgusting because I know that happens to children. They throw up. But
that's pretty funny. I saw a little
diarrhea and vomit.
I saw a kid vomit on a bus. Had to be in a New York City bus.
You guys, where is this going?
I saw a kid vomit at the American Idol finale. I went to the last.
This is, by the way, arguably my favorite episode of this show that we've done. I don't know if it's the wine, time zone. I'm really dying. What happened? Which season was it?
It was the final. It was the final Fox season. It was at that time. It was the very last episode of all time of American Idol.
Wow!
And I went to the finale. My friend invited me, and it was at the Kodak Theater. And a little girl was so excited. She was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then she just threw up on the floor.
Beatlemania. Remember Ronnie and all those Beatle videos when all those girls barfed at the airport when Paul McCartney stepped out? They were just vomiting everywhere.
It's the director's cut.
Yes, exactly. That was the Criterion Collection of the Beatles. This shit ain't sending because I sent too many. You know what I think we should do? I think we should wait until episode 2. Let's start on Thursday with the reaction of the Milan. I know that this is in the world of joke telling, timing wise, maybe a huge mistake, but we'll figure it out.
Make them wait. Make them wait for it.
Yeah, that's my voice, by the way. That's me talking. It's not Ronnie. Boys, I genuinely, can I be honest with you? I really feel like I'm just having fun. Like I can't explain it. It's so exciting to have you on the show. Ben Mandelker. I know I always say your name wrong. I've known him for 20 years. And
no, that's you said it correctly.
Was it? Ronnie Karam.
So there's a big debate in my family.
Save it for episode 2.
Is it Mandelker or Mandelker? Yeah.
Mandelker, obviously. Save it for episode 2. We got to go. If you don't already listen to their podcast, watch what Crappens. They literally sell out stadiums basically at this point. They're just all over the country. Their following is borderline terrifying. I want to talk about that with you Thursday too, about like how these Bravo ladies are all obsessed with you. We're going to talk about it this Thursday. Follow them online at Watch What Crappens on Instagram. And guys, we'll be back Thursday. And download their podcast. Goes without saying. You can also follow me if you want at Mich Call, but you don't have to. Obviously, do it. See you Thursday.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news. News.